Hello beautiful people, here's a bunch of scenery tutorials for you to impress your friends with. Like this bus at 3 minutes, which has got a lovely driver's seat. You walk through, it's got a lovely seating area as well with buttons on the wall. At 8 minutes 01, there's a bone garden. At 23 minutes and 20, there is this racing shell. And at 21:20, there's a fountain made of bone. And last but not least, there is a mushroom garden at 32 seconds. We're going to start with this one, with a bunch of bricks. You just want to sort of make a square. It's about 7 by 7. And then go along into the centre, just by 1. Then add some white half planks on top in this order. You want to sort of leave 3 in the corner, sort of like that. That's in the wrong place. There we go. Then put mangrove all between all of these white slabs, just like so. Once that is done, we're going to be moving on to the next stage, which is the grass. So you need to delete a corner here, then delete a corner here, just like so. Put your grass in, then count 1 down, and then do a corner here as well. Then on the other side, do the other corner. There we go. May as well put 1 there and 1 there just to finish it off. Then, that's what we should have. Leave the rest in birch block. So, you should look like this. Then, add some oak stair pieces into the far corner with a trapdoor on top of a fence piece. Then, add your mushrooms into the corners, there, and there. Then when they've grown, that's what you should have. They will grow at different sizes for you to what they have done for me, most likely, unless you build them customly. I had to delete a few blocks on this. But it looks all cozy and red and stuff. You can add some smaller mushrooms that aren't going to grow around the area, so they look a little bit like wild mushrooms or little flowers. I think it's a really cute idea. And then we should have something that looks a little bit like that. After that, we need to add some torches inside the mushrooms. Might have to do a bit of jumping and climbing if you're doing this in survival. There you go. And there you have your mushroom garden. Isn't it cute? I quite like that. Ooh. You can go in and sit inside. You can have it as a backyard or a little garden area in your streets. Lovelies. Anyways, we're going to move on now to the bus build. First start with a black piece of wool and some smooth stone slabs going across. Just like so. Then put another black piece of wool. Then you want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and another black piece of wool. Now we're just going to turn this into a square using the rest of the smooth stones and the black wool. Need another one there we go. And then, yep, finish it off. And then we're going to get the buttons and we're going to put 1 here, 1 over here, 1 over there and 1 over there. Then count 1, 2, 3 and then go across and make like a little line going in. Same on the other side, 1, 2, 3, go across and 1 more. Join that up. And then on the back, we're going to do something similar, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, go across, then count across, and sort of make it symmetrical on the other side, just like so. Then we're going to fill all of this in with the half slab that we were using. That's what we should have. Then, at the front of the bus, I did some red going to about there, but I had to leave a 2 gap for the doors. I actually used orange and white and I tried to make both sides of the bus symmetrical in a very nice bus-like pattern. You can copy the exact pattern I've done or you can use your own colour scheme. I just thought red, white and orange went really well together. The most important thing with the edges of the bus is that the windows are in the correct places so they line up properly with the seats. Otherwise you'll have really awkwardly placed windows in your bus. or something that looks nice on the outside doesn't always look nice from the inside. I get that issue a lot with houses as well. It's like I might put the windows in the perfect place in the house, and then I go outside and I'm like, oh, it just looks like a square. But yeah, this is the pattern I sort of went through for my bus, for the bottom half. And then I used glow item frames, frog lights, and sea lanterns for the headlights. Then at the back, again, I used my glow item frames and my frog lights for blinkers and headlights. And I used a never walk block for the red lights at the back. But also redstone blocks look really cool. Anyways, back to the windows. The front windows need to be sort of in this area, just like so. So they line up with the seats, like I said earlier. I used matching glass with the colours that I chose in concrete, just because I noticed that on real buses they tend to put stickers and stuff over the windows that sort of match up with the decorations of the metal parts of the bus, and I figured that I can portray that using coloured glass. And you can still see through that, which is really nice. But at the front of the bus, I didn't use coloured glass. For the windscreen, I actually used plain glass because I wanted to be a bit daft if the driver's view was a bit obscured. However, if you want red or green or bright pink glass at the front of your bus, feel free to do that. I just felt it looked more realistic this way. I did make sure that everything was symmetrical as I was building this, just like so. Once I'd got the glass in place for the front half of the bus, I did then go and finish off the normal wall texture, like where the metal parts were. I tried to make a diagonal theme, going sort of diagonally using the 3 coloured blocks. Started off with red, went into orange, and then went into white. And I did have a little bit of a pickle trying to actually put the blocks in the right places as well. However, at the end of watching me do this, you'll be able to take some screenshots if you want to do the exact same pattern as me. I think it was here that I was having a little bit of an issues, but I eventually did this block and this block in orange, and then the bottom 2 blocks I did in white, which you will be able to see in a minute. It just, for some reason, I couldn't work out how to do that in my brain at the time. So feel free to have a little giggle at me right now. So yes, I did eventually work it out. After a while, just put the white ones here and the orange ones here, and then I continued sort of filtering along using the white blocks towards the back of the bus, and that's what I tend to do. When I went round the other side, I did make the bus symmetrical so that what was on this side was also on the other side, other than where the door was, because why not? I just felt like that was the right pattern at the time, and it was a lot easier to copy from the other side of the bus as well, because I could practically see what I was doing, just like so. Then once I'd done this, I actually made some more windows, which we'll get to in a minute. But first I'm just finishing off this pattern, just like this. There you go, all the way to the end. There we go. I decided to delete a couple of blocks to add some more windows. Was this one's and this one, because I just needed a little bit of a higher window just here. So I went with the white glass, and then the orange glass I put on top of the white ones, make a slightly higher window. And then I'm going to be adding one more window towards the end. So I filled this bit in with orange to make it sort of diagonal, make it sort of triangular a little bit. And then I put my last window at the back between those 2 blocks, which I'll be doing in a second on here. And I used white blocks for that. Now, your windows need to be in these places. Like, they absolutely need to be in these places. You can't get away with that at all. Round the back here, I just did sort of white blocks all the way to the top, other than like the back window. It would be nice to put a back window going across here, and I used plain glass for that, so obviously the driver can see out the back. you know, just felt more realistic to me. Anyway, take your screenshots if you want to copy this bit. Then we're going to move to the roof and the inside of the bus, which is for some reason a lot easier than the outside of the bus. But yes, so there's your screenshot time. There we go. We're going up to the roof now. So 1 block higher than the glass, you just want to make a couple of lines of red. And then you want to miss out the middle block on the 3rd row, because we're going to put an orange block there, just like so. And then I did a stripy orange and white going all the way, not all the way to the bottom, but sort of towards the bottom of the red. And I filled the rest in red so that it looked symmetrical on both sides. Might have said the word symmetrical about 10 times on this video so far, I don't know. But yeah, just keep going now with the red. And then we started doing orange at the bottom of here, so that the orange looked sort of like it was turning into a triangle. So I did 2 here and 2 here, and then filled in the middle one with red at the side, just like that. And then I did an orange row, just going across like this, and then another orange row. And the middle one on this orange row I turned into white, just there. And I added some orange to the sides of those whites. Then I made it sort of fan out again, like a lot like the orange bit that I just did up there. And then I did the rest of this build in white. It's a very simple roof. And again, if you want to copy this design, you can do, or you can make your own design, just as long as the windows are in the right place. So yes, there is there's the roof of the bus. Anyways, inside now, you need some red on that block, and then a red tower wall going up inside. Then we need some glass going on this one, this one, and then above there and above there. I then used a mangrove door, put the mangrove door inside, and then I put copper doors for the bus entrance, just there. Just in the corner here, I added some copper bars. That's the front of the bus. Inside the driver's cabin, I added a ticket machine and a button on top to make that ticket machine work. Inside there, I wrote tickets onto all these papers and put them inside, so when you press the button, you get an actual ticket. Then I added a cartographer table, a copper rod, a glowing lantern, a CD, a slab, and a black banner to make all the driver's seating. And that's what that looks like. When you press the button, you get a bus ticket. Now we're going to do the back. We need to put some chairs in. So I used this half slab of Prismazine and some of these warped forest trapdoors. And then I continued going back with this for a couple of times. And then on the other side, I tried to replicate it. So I sort of started off with here, and here, and then I added the trapdoors going forward. So that's the seating. I did some more seating at the front as well, because, you know, you need some seating going at the front, as always, seating at the front. I actually decided to change it though. You can do it at the front, or you could do it a little bit further forward and make a little pushchair gap. When you go back a little bit, you want to sort of make it a bit higher up. So you want to make the seats sort of raised, because you know when you walk on a bus and there's a step that goes up and the seats seem to go up because the engine's underneath, or whatever is underneath the back of the bus that makes the seats go up. Which is why the windows also go up with the bus towards the back. This is why the windows needed to be where they were. So you want to add some more seats with these Prismazine blocks and put some half slabs on top. And then at the very back of the bus, we're just going to put a big back seat going all the way across the back of the bus. So I just put the last piece of seating going across, and then I added Prismazine slabs. Once that was done, I went back down and I got myself some banners. I used cyan dye, the banner pattern bricks, and a light blue banner, and I made these for any seats that didn't have a back. Now they have a back, and the driver can't see out the window anymore. Then I added bars, because you need to put bars in the bus so people can hold on. Or you can pretend to hold on, or however you want that to be. Just like so. I used copper bars for this, just because I felt like copper bars was going to be the best option. I put them on the flat spaces that were between the seats so that it was easy to sort of get around them. And I tried to space them out quite well. I also put one here because, you know, there's always one near the buggies. I actually moved it across one. I just felt like it felt better. Just on this one because it's a bit closer to the front. Usually that's where the wheelchair sort of slips behind there, doesn't it? Anyways, for the buttons, I used some glow item frames. I actually put one here on both sides with some red concrete inside to look like the red buttons. I put one here-ish. I just wanted to make sure that there was one on most of the seats. Went down a little bit, put one there. And one on the other side as well, to make sure people can press the buttons. I went a little bit further. Decided to put one there and one there. There you go. Same on the other side, sort of one here and one there. And there we have the inside of the bus. That's all done. So yeah, I hope to see this in some of your worlds. Or maybe some other versions of it if you want to get creative, based on my my bus. I do have a short with some double decker as well. If you want to watch the double decker, have a double decker in your world. It's very much similar. I think it's a little bit smaller though, not as wide. But yeah, very cool. A bus in Minecraft. Ta-da! We've got the driver's seat, we've got the ticket, we can go find a seat, we can do all the things, we can play games and pretend things are happening. This is my favourite seat on any bus. Anyways, we're going to move on to the next one now, which will be very interesting if you want to see how to build that. We've got a couple more coming up, but the next one is the bone garden. So we're going to start off with some bone. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces of bone. Then go across here. 1, 2, 3, 4 bone. And then we're going to put some of this mud brick wall between all of the bones, going all across to here. There you go. Once we've done that, this is what you should have, and we should delete the floor. Ta-da! Then you need some of this coarse dirt and some bone going in these sort of slots, but we're going to put them in sort of sideways, because this is going to look like the ribs are going into the dirt itself. So there's the bones. You want to make sure that the circles are not showing on the top, they're just showing on the side, so that they look like it's going round, just like so. Then delete here, 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 and here. In that space, you need to put some bones with the circles on the top. This is going to look a little bit like a backbone. Then, in this block, this block, this block, and all the rest of the blocks I delete, we should put some of this sandstone wall to finish the backbone look. That's what we should have so far. Once that's done, you need to build up the bone higher by 3, all of them. Then, once that's done, this is what you should look like, and then we want to go across by 2. You'd have to put a temporary block at the back. Bone might be expensive if you're doing that on survival, but once you've done all of that, this is what you should have. Then add a big spruce, birch half slabs and some trapdoors in oak. Then you need to do the same on the other side, but sort of opposite what we just did. Just like so. Once that's done, we can move on to the next part, which is to put plant pots on top of here. And there you go, there's your seating inside your bone garden. Next, we need to hang some lantern up just here, and we're going to hang another one here but without some chain. There we go. Then we're going to put pale oak saplings in the plant pots, and then we're going to use wildflowers scattered around randomly in all of the rest of the coaster blocks. There you go. There they all are. And that's all finished. We have a lovely bone garden for anyone to go and sit in and enjoy a nice peaceful time with the with this nice atmosphere. That'd look really nice as a back garden, actually. I quite like it. Anyways, we're going to continue with some bones and do a matching fountain. For this bone fountain, you need 3 pieces of bone. You need to then delete the ground in this order. Delete, 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 go all the way. Then add some bones going all the way across like so. There we go. Once that's done, going to delete here, here and here, and here. And we're going to put some bone in randomly these areas. Just here, and just here. There you go, plenty of bone for you to be collecting. Then in these areas we need to put some of this sandstone wall, so it looks like it's going round. It'll look very similar to the last build that we just did. Sort of doing a checkers sort of theme there. That's what we should have so far. Once we have done that, we need to get some more bones and build this up by 1, 2, 3, 4. Do that all the way along. 4 in the air. There we go. It's going to look so cool. Then bring it forward and delete the back block, just like so. That 4th block can be a temporary block if you want it to. Anyways, add some iron bars and some copper trapdoors to the back at the very top, and then add the water going in. And there we should have the water from the fountain. Put some iron bars to one side and the other side. And then we're going to put a skeleton skull on top of those. There. Go on, just press, and on the other side as well. Just there. Very fidgety. Once that is done, this is what we should have. A lovely bone fountain to match our garden. Or you can put it in your own garden. Really cute. Anyways, enough of this bone business. We're going to now go and make a racing shell, which is a boat. First you need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these half slabs. And then you need to sort of build a upside down stair piece at the front and at the back. Just like so. Then you put a button on the front one and a redstone torch on the back one. There we go. Round the edge we're going to put some trapdoors in bamboo all the way around the edge, including the other side as well. Trapdoor, 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 all the way to the end. There we go. And inside we're going to put some boats so we can sit in the racing shell. Just like so. There we go. I managed to fit 4 in, but if you're good at this, you might even be able to get 5 in there. Anyways, once you've done that, you want to put some strategically placed soul sand around the racing shell. Now, because I've just done mine on the grass, I've put it on the grass. But if you were to build this in a river or something, these blocks really need to go like under the water a little bit. Because they're going to make bubbles and it's going to look like the racing shell is moving a little bit. Once that is done, this is what you should have looking like. And this is what it looks like in the water. So you'll be able to sit on that and you'll be able to float and swim and play pretend to race. And anyway, please subscribe if you want to see more, and have a lovely day.